Bengals shocked the Steelers and really the rest of the football world with a huge 27-17 upset win last night. Pittsburgh turned the ball over 3 times in the loss and has now dropped their last 3 games since starting the season 11-0. While the Steelers have still clinched a playoff spot, they've tumbled all the way down to the number 3 seed and have left the door open for the Browns to possibly win the division. And afterward, Big Ben admitted Pittsburgh was frustrated by the loss, but added, quote, "I will never stop believing in this team." So, Shannon, who deserves the most blame for really the Steelers' collapse?
Well, Skip, it has to go to Ben in the offense. The offense has failed to score 17 points in any of the 3 straight losses. And what has happened is that because they can't run the football, Ben can't push the football down the field. Everything is screens and jet sweeps and get the ball out quick. Defenses are starting to squeeze the field on them. And when you squeeze the field, Skip, it gets harder and harder for you to generate offense. And let me tell you what happened, Skip. And when we played, when the time it was a lot more physical, and guys can't get physical now. But when we played the Raiders or the Chiefs, we would go into a game and says, guys, we might not get complete a lot of passes deep, but we got to back them up. Skip, if you didn't back up Dale Carter and James Hasty and Lewis and those guys, Terry McDaniel, if you didn't get them up off you couldn't beat them because they're not going anywhere. Steelers get 60 yards rushing. Ben is like 3rd in pass attempts, but he's 18th in yards passing per game. Skip, that doesn't correlate. So in other words, Skip, think about this. Last night he had, right here, where's Big Ben? Big Ben had 38 pass attempts for 170 yards. People, let that sink in for a second. 38 attempts for 170 yards.
Well, you should throw in that at halftime he had 7 total yards passing.
Well, he's on with Brady.
7?
He said, I don't want you to feel bad, Tom. I'm outdo you.
Okay.
Come on. Who are you going to beat when you don't throw the football down the field and you can't run the football? You're not beating anybody. Skip, their defense is plenty good enough. I mean, you know, I still think they can be had on the back end. They play a lot of trap coverages and try to trap you. But Limp, Skip, that game should have been blown over. He had Boyd wide open for a touchdown and he underthrew him. That game should have been over a long time ago. But Juju going to learn about that TikTok dancing. And you see how they give? You see what they do it? They're going to break him out of it. They might not stop him, but they'll break him of the habit. Ben gets the lion's share in this offense because I don't know if I don't know if he can't or he's not, but he doesn't look the same. He looking a lot more like Phillip Rivers throwing the football, Skip. It look like it's arduous. Like you talking about throwing the javelin like Drew Brees. That's how it looks for Ben to push the ball down the field. Everything is short. Everything is screens. Everything is shallow crosses. And I don't know if you can't run the football, you can complete enough of those passes in order for you to get to your ultimate destination. But they better open this thing up. Skip, even if you don't complete them, you got to make people think you will throw the ball over the head, and they don't do that.
Okay, I will give you bulk of blame goes to Ben, but honorable mention, as you point out, is Juju. And I'm going to start with Juju because this is completely out of control, over the edge, out of line.
It's his ego now, though, Skip. I'm going to continue to do it.
I know it's today's kids. They live on social media. It's just what they do.
Okay.
Well, have fun because you know what Von Bell thought about that. He said, I'm going to get him back, and he got him good, didn't he? If we could see this. Here we are. Yeah, we get it.
He need a new car because that Corvette cannot run anybody anymore.
You got to go dance on their logo in their stadium before the game and post it where they can see it? Are you kidding me? And we've had Juju on the show. He seems like a good kid. I don't know what's possessing him. And then can we see what Von Bell did to him? Because this was a big play in the game, obviously. Did he not get smashed? And obviously, that was the second turnover.
Skip, I don't understand how they thought that was an incomplete. Juju caught the ball and started running with it.
It wasn't incomplete.
I know, but they said on the field it was incomplete, and the Bengals challenged it.
I know, he ran 2 steps with it. No, I completely agree. And that was the second of the 3 early turnovers. One was mid-second quarter, but They gave them 3 short fields, and they scored field goal, touchdown to lead 17-0 at halftime with Ryan Finley at quarterback. It's impossible against what used to be the Pittsburgh defense.
Right.
But obviously, when you take away Devin Bush in the middle and you take away Bud Dupree, and Spillane was the backup to Devin Bush and was playing at a high level, and he's gone, and all of a sudden, you're just not the same.
You're not.
And
Skip, they could think about it. 22 dropped the interception that hit him in his hands.
Right.
Ben hit 57 right in his hands. He dropped it.
He did.
They could have easily had 3. The Steelers could have easily had 5 turnovers last night.
Okay, before we leave Juju behind, I am the biggest Mike Tomlin fan, but I'm a little surprised Mike has not intervened on this and just said that's enough.
Yes.
No, because this is a team thing. You're hurting your team. You're putting them in a bind on the road. Remember, that's your arch rival within the division, right?
Yeah.
Come on, it's got a history to it, a legacy of rivalry, and they're a hopeless underdog, and you're going to fire them up at home on Monday Night Football?
I think, Skip, it was the first time that 2 teams have won outright at least 14-point underdog.
One was 17, was the Jets.
Right. But, Skip, this is also something, and we're going to keep it all the way real here. And I told people this. Everybody wants to be top dog, but everybody can't be top dog. Now, Juju hadn't been the same receiver since AB left because AB got #1 coverage.
Yeah.
AB got roll coverage. You see the difference? Now, you look at DeAndre Hopkins. It does not matter who the quarterback is. D-Hop is D-Hop.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, AB. You look at certain receivers, it doesn't matter because they're true #1s. Juju hasn't had a 100-yard receiving game since AB left.
He has not.
That's fact.
And by the way, Mike Tomlin let AB run amok.
Yes.
And now it feels like in a different way, he's letting Juju run amok at the team's expense. And I just don't understand it because something needs to be done to stop this.
Skip is an ego. I'm going to continue to do this. It's what I do. Okay, let me ask you a question. How does that help your team? What is that doing for your team? I understand what it's doing for you.
Yep.
People on TikTok, they love it and so you probably got 5-10 million followers. I get it. I get what it's doing for Juju.
Yep.
But what is it doing for the Steelers? Because ultimately, the football, if I didn't know, I thought it was the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the Pittsburgh Schusters.
Mm-hmm. It's getting their butts beaten by an arch rival. That's what's happening.
And Skip, guys, if you look at them, and I think he talked about to the media. He says, I look at it as being disrespectful, so I guess we're going to have to hit him on the field and hit him hard.
And he did.
Yes.
Okay. Now back to Ben. I don't know what happened after his shoulder surgery.
Well, he had ligament.
Yeah, well, that's
elbow.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Elbow, but but he's had shoulder issues also. But my point is, now, have you ever tried to throw a football with your suit coat on and coat and tie? Where you have to throw it like this?
Yes.
Like this?
Yes.
That's how he throws footballs, like he can't extend anymore.
Right.
So he can wrist flick it.
Right.
And that means 6 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards.
Right.
But there's no range of motion. He can't throw the football the way he used to throw it mid-range or deep. He just can't throw it.
Skip, if you look at it, his 38 looked a lot different than Brady's 38. His 38 looked a lot different than Breeze's 38. It looks a lot different than Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Aaron is 38. I think Aaron is like 37, 36, 37.
37, yeah.
But that throwing motion looks a lot different. Skip, Ben is an old 38. Ben is taking punishment.
He makes Phillip Rivers' velocity look like Josh Allen. No, seriously. What has happened? It's hard to watch because there's no there anymore.
No.
So he did heat up in the fourth quarter and kind of gutted it up because he's a champ at heart. He's won his couple Super Bowls.
Right.
So he did have a flurry, and he did throw one late pass to Claypool, his new young receiver, and I thought it was pretty blatant pass interference, as we could see this. And this would have
I thought he was falling on his own.
Yeah, I just thought he was hanging all over his shoulder. It looked like pass interference to me. He's a little early. He grabbed his shoulder the first, but even if you get that call, can you do anything with it? Can you get the ball in the end zone from there? I doubt it.
But think about what he had to do, Skip, in order to get the ball down the field.
Yeah.
He had to draw up a play backyard point. It will get down the field. If you look at Cincinnati's right there. Cincinnati was playing man coverage. Like, y'all not going nowhere. Y'all not going to throw the ball over our head. That's why when they got that touchdown to Deontay Johnson, the dude was shocked.
Yep.
He actually threw it over my head because normally everything is underneath.
Yep. So would you believe that Ben Roethlisberger's offense over the last 2 games is 5 of 20?